exciting time for you with the upcoming release of Asylum. That's going to be this is the follow up, of course, to Indestructible, which came out in 2008. So this album's coming out in the fall.
The intended target is end of August at this point, but that's subject to change, as it always is.
I was going to say, yeah, isn't it always?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what are you aiming for with this record? Is there something that you're striving for, musically, as a follow up to Indestructible, or?
There's never a specific game plan, and in fact, with this particular outing, there really wasn't any need for one. I think that the guys really knew where my head was at musically. I had another typical to what we affectionately refer to as the David Draiman curse. I had a wonderfully melancholy and chaotic last touring cycle, so there was plenty of stuff to draw from as far as inspiration goes, as far as what is happening on in the world around us, what happens in front of our eyes every time we turn on the news channel. I mean, so it's not. I don't want to go into those cliche areas of saying, this is the darkest, the most aggressive,
the best album you've ever done.
I can say that I want people to definitely form their own opinions on it. I think that it does show a good level of maturation. I think that it does show a level of how we've developed as a band. But the whole idea behind the record itself, the idea of Asylum, of even using that as the title, there's a wonderful duality to the actual word in terms of its meaning. It has both the aspect of the connotation that people would automatically assume to a Disturbed record called Asylum, which is one with an insane asylum, a madhouse. But the other aspect, the other meaning behind the word is one of harboring safety.
Protection, I would think.
Asylum, yeah.
Right. So the idea behind the track is that it is the memory of a lost loved one who you can't really let go, but that memory is driving you to the brink of insanity, yet that memory is also a safe place for you and a haven where you go to when times are difficult. That is sort of that unifying aspect of the record, that duality of everything that goes on in the world around us drives us further and further to the brink of madness, yet this is our home and the only home that we know, and we have to feel safe within it. We try to feel safe within it.
Mm-hmm.
I like that duality that you talk about, and that pole that's, it shows two sides, and I think that's really interesting, because I think a lot of people assume that, a band like Disturbed, who gets a lot of radio airplay, that there's not that depth there, and that explanation just proves that wrong, that, you guys have, peel back the layers and you're going to find more.
Yes, we are the proverbial onion of the, of the
now I'm gonna start crying.
Metal world. We're the what is it? The ogre. What's his name? Shrek.
The album. Well, had you been over to the Middle East before you did Indestructible, or were the shows that you did over there?
Right after the release of Indestructible. We went out to Camp Buring in Kuwait and played for the troops there.
Okay, has that had any impact on the lyrics of this album or the way you've thought about events of the world for the past couple of years?
There is no specific track on this record geared towards the soldier, but there is a track called The Warrior, which is about anybody who needs fighting inspiration. It was originally geared towards, I had written it specifically for the UFC, potentially, but we couldn't unfortunately come to terms that both of us could agree on for the usage of the song, and so we'll just use it, and that's fine.
It can be the unofficial.
Well, something, it's definitely appropriate for any guy to have a ring entrance song, or anybody who's just in the gym just trying to get an extra rep in. A lot of our records just happen to do that for people.
Yeah.
Have to be energizing music, empowering music. So,
some's got to get the blood pumping, right?
yeah. right. Well, it's not going to be, baby hit me one more time, I think.
Thank God. We don't need
even
that.
even children of Bodom.
Well, I was gonna say, unless you're children of Bodom or like Andrew WK.
There you go, Alexis.
And of course, you're going to be co-headlining the upcoming first Rockstar Energy Drink Uproar Festival, which is not so coincidentally starts right after the end of the Mayhem Festival. I think like 3 days later,
Right.
or something. That should be a pretty great bill, though. You're co-headlining it with Avenged Sevenfold, Stone Sour's on it, Hailstorm.
Hell yeah,
sure, Airborne, Hail the Villain, and New Medicine. Is that something that you're going to be breaking out some new tunes for?
Definitely. I mean, the record should be out within the first couple weeks of the tour. We'll probably have at least one, if not two, new songs already out, either via the internet or via radio at that point. So there will be a bunch of new material. We got to be careful, though. When you get a 65-minute set, you got to make sure that you play the hits. You got to make sure that you play the stuff that everybody came to hear
the crowd
from
pleasers.
the old records, too. So got to have a careful balance there.
You don't want to have the entire set be the I got to go pee or get a beer songs,
Right.
So is it more fun to do these big package festivals with a bunch of other bands that you know, or to go out as a headliner and play sheds or wherever?
Well, something, even when you're a headliner and you go out and try and do the large rooms, you still want to have, some support. You still want to have some other bands that are there that are making the evening, a little bit more of a sane experience, enable you to be a little bit more meticulous about your set length and, give the fans a little bit more for their money. We've always been very insistent in touring with bands that we felt not only, could hold their mustard, so to speak, but would really test us and really make us want to play harder. So we always welcome that.
But I think there's going to be no lack of fun on a tour with Avenged Sevenfold and Hell Yeah,
Yeah,
specifically.
totally.
And
Stone Sour.
Yeah.
Those guys are all old friends of ours. We love all those guys. Yeah, it's going to be a good thing overall. I mean, all these bands are powerful. We're really looking forward to hanging, definitely, and it's going to be just a continuation to summer vacation for us.
Right.
It's going to be finally nice getting out on the buses, getting out on the road, getting in front of the crowds, having the after show late night barbecues, and hanging out and just doing what bands do.
That's fun. Can I come sell merch? Can I come work for Disturb? That sounds like fun.
You better start getting the drinking muscles in shape now,
yeah,
right?
right. You better start getting ready.
Yeah, well, everybody else usually fills that void for me. I'm unfortunately one of those pretty straight edge guys. When I'm out on the road, I kind of have to be in order to maintain the pipes. But believe you me, the other three more than make up for what I don't do. So.
Sure.
Well, it's a smart way to be, let the other guys party. You got the voice that you got to take care of.
I gotta try and live up to Ronnie's legacy.
Of course. And when are we going to start hearing songs from Asylum? Are you?
Very, very soon. Probably within the next month or two.
Cool. And can you give us some track titles, or let us know what the first?
Well, obviously the title track. The first official single is called "Another Way to Die."
Okay.
It's a song about global warming.
Oh yeah, I had talked to Dan. I did a studio report for Noise Creep, and he had explained how that song kind of took shape and had that meaning.
Interesting.
Oh, cool. There's a song called "The Animal," which was inspired by movies like Underworld and Wolfman. It's about somebody who actually transforms into a werewolf under the light of the full moon.
But not inspired by that movie, The Animal. That was a terrible one.
What else? There's a song called "Never Again," which is about the Nazi Holocaust of World War II. There's a song called "Innocence," which is about corrupt attorneys and the criminals that they choose to defend.
Who are almost as bad as the Nazis in World War II.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, in their own way.
Ambulance chasers.
Right.
In their own way. It kind of goes really all over the range of things in terms of subject matter. There's the introspective ones, the ones that are more personal, like The Infection, which treats the depression that you feel after a relationship is over as if it is an infection, something that's eating away inside of you. Crucified is another relationship-oriented song about how you are left feeling after, again, a breakup, where you find yourself so wrapped up in the individual and so enamored with them that you can't really let them go.
Right.
and you feel as if you're nailed to the cross and unable to move on.
And you're self-producing this album, right?
Yes.
Is this the first time you've self-produced?
No, this is our second album we self-produced.
Oh, my bad.
That's okay.
To do more homework. I always get one question wrong.
We
in
talk
any
to a
interview.
lot of
Okay.
we talk to a lot of bands, and
Yeah, that's
it's hard
right.
to keep all that information straight.
Oh, I can understand.
At least
completely.
we're not calling you like Mike or something or
There you
Bill.
go.
We're not like Bill Draiman from Disturbed. You
Right,
know?
right.
Thank you.
Well, unfortunately, we're out of time. Wow, this one went fast.
It did, because we had great guests.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much
thanks.
for your contributions, David. I'm sure we'll talk to you once the record's out.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
Awesome.
Thanks,
You too.
thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
and thanks for joining us once again on Creep Show.